guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be attempting some nice sweet snowballs, and for this it's a three-part recipe. So we're going to start off with the dough first. Here I've got 400 grams of desiccated coconut, which I have dropped in 3 teaspoons of pink food color, given it a nice mix, and let this dry out for a bit. But that's for the end, but that has to dry out. That's why I said first. Okay, next things we need here is 3 large eggs, half a cup of white sugar, a pinch of salt, 5 ml of strawberry essence, 400 ml of self-raising flour, and 140 grams of butter. So let's get cracking with our dough. In my bowl here, I'm going to drop in my butter. Drop it in. Okay. And what I'm going to do is give it a little beat with my machine before adding the sugar, because I decided to make snowballs a bit late today, so my butter is a bit hard. So let's just give it a little mix. Now that I've softened it up a bit, I'm going to drop in my sugar. That's half a cup of sugar. Just tap that in there. And I'm going to beat this up until it's like a nice and fluffy kind of mixture. Okay guys, we've got a nice fluffy texture. Now to this, I'm going to be adding in my eggs. Just drop this in, and we're going to beat this up. The side off there. Let's turn on our machine again. Here we have a nice fluffy kind of mixture. Now to this, I'm going to be dropping in my strawberry essence. So drop for all the strawberry flavor, and as well as a pinch of salt, a small pinch, a little whisk, and then stir it up. Okay, now that we've got our mixture nicely beat with the electric mixer, that's what we're looking for. As just a heads up, when using your electric mixer, make sure you stop and you take down the sides and then you mix again. Now we're going to be adding in our self-raising flour, but here I'm not using my mixer, I'm going to be using my spoon. And in half, give it a good stir. You're looking for a nice soft dough. Make sure you mix everything up nicely. You scrape down your sides, all the excess flour. Okay, going in the next batch of flour. Tap my bowl. Then I'm going to mix this up. As you can see, it's coming together like a nice soft dough. Just scrape down the sides of your bowl to make sure you got everything in there. As you can see, it's a nice soft dough. Just going to stir it a bit more. Grab the sides to make sure everything is incorporated into our bowl. Okay guys, after mixing it, I've got a nice soft dough, as you can see. Just going to get my hands in here now. I'm just going to scrape down my spoon. Put my hands into my bowl. You can see if I pull it out, still a bit that's stuck in there. It's a nice soft dough. Now we're going to divide this dough into 6 parts. Okay, so we have equal parts. If you want, you can add in some color onto this, some pink or red color if you choose. I'm doing mine plain. Okay, so let me get my tray to divide our dough. Okay, I've just floured my work surface and I'm just rolling out my dough, not too much. I'm going to cut this. Let's do 8. You can either do 6 huge ones or we can do 8. But we're not going to cut them into 8 pieces. We're going to cut them into more pieces because every one that we sandwich together we get one snowball. So let's cut them. Let's just try and make them into almost the same shape. If you have a kitchen scale, you can weigh each piece, which makes it much easier. Let's cut one piece here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we'll have 1 snowball, 2 snowballs, 3 snowballs. 1, 2. And here we're going to cut this dough in half. We'll have like a mini snowball. Okay, now we're going to take our dough. We're going to roll them into a nice ball. And we're going to place this on our baking tray. If you don't have a baking tray, a huge lid is fine because we want them all to bake at once. Okay, so into a nice ball because our dough is quite soft, as you can see. Let's just roll them all into little balls and put them on our baking tray. As you guys can see, I have my dough balls all done. I spread them apart because once they bake, it's going to expand and it's going to get stuck together, which you want to avoid. So that's why I've created those spaces in between them. Now this is going to bake in the oven for 15 minutes at 180 degrees. So 15 minutes at 180. Guys, the snowballs out of the oven. They look like scones. As you can see, they're still quite hot inside. Underneath is nice golden brown, as you can see. It doesn't matter if it's got these cracks and bumps. We're going to cover that up with our coconut. Now we're going to start the second part of it, which is our syrup. For the second part of our snowball recipe, it's the syrup, which we need to make so it cools down before we can put it onto our snowballs. We will need 120 ml of water, 120 ml of plain white sugar, a drop of strawberry essence or red food color, a huge tablespoon of apricot or strawberry jam, whichever you have. So we're going to start off with our sugar in our pan. I'm just going to rinse this cup out with the water. So we get all the sugar in there. Okay. And let's add our here a good splash of strawberry essence or red food color, your choice. And then goes in our jam, a good blob of jam. This is going to go onto the stove for this to melt down and become our syrup to put on the coconuts. Can we get this on the stove now? It's to become our syrup. As you guys can see here, my syrup. I've just dropped a few drops of red food coloring into it. You can see it's boiling up. The jam is melting. Give it a little whisk. Get all the sugar dissolves and the jam breaks down. You can also use jelly if you want to make the syrup, but that's for another day. They come together nicely. Thicken up a bit, and we're going to switch this off. As you guys can see, our syrup is now ready. I'm going to empty this into another bowl to cool down. It's nice and thick. Not too thick, otherwise it's going to crystallize and you cannot sandwich the snowballs. Now while that's cooling off, let us get cracking with the sandwich mixture. To this we need 1 cup of icing sugar. Get everything out. And to this we're going to add 20 ml of warm water. Give it a nice stir. Let's see, it's thick. And what's going to happen next is going to add in a tablespoon of milk. Just put in some milk. Just do half at a time because icing sugar tends to dissolve very quickly. You don't want it too much of a runny texture. See, it's quite thick. Add in a few drops that I've got left and give it a whisk. There we go. Exactly what we're looking for. That's the texture. It's almost like icing. Okay. Now we're going to put our snowballs together. Let me just grab everything and then we're going to start. We're going to start off with our, let's say, shells. And to this I'm going to be putting in a teaspoon of icing. Just swirling that around. As you can see, need a bit more. Just move it around as we're trying to create a sandwich. Doesn't matter if it leaks out the sides. It's not a train smash. Then you get your other half and you sandwich this together. We're going to do this for all our almost done snowballs. Okay guys, after we've sandwiched them together, it should look like this. If you have a problem with them sticking together once you've sandwiched them, take a few toothpicks and push them through, then they wouldn't fall apart. Now we're going to take this and dunk it into our syrup. Okay, just going to put it into my bowl and pour my syrup over. It's nice and gooey. It's quite a messy job. All the way through. Let it drip. And from this, it's going to go into our coconut. I can use my hands. Turn it around. Make sure you cover the entire thing. There we go. And here we have our very first snowball. There you go guys. It's looking wonderful. Let's do the rest now. Here we go guys, our snowballs, which goes with a nice glass of milk. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye.